These pictures are from Europe, where Islamophobia and xenophobia are a continuing threat. A far-right, anti-Islamic group called Stop Islamization in Norway was behind this incident in Norway's capital, Oslo. Rising racist Islamophobia in developed countries harms values such as multiculturalism and coexistence. This hatred, which has taken the lives of many Muslims in recent years, raises many concerns. Attacks in recent years lay bare the agonizing picture. Racist ideology in the Western world has escalated dangerously in recent years. The Global Terror Index, published in November 2019, points to racist terror incidents targeting foreigners in the West, saying in the last 5 years they have risen 320%. Muslims in particular are targeted by rising racist Islamophobia. While Muslims face verbal racist attacks on almost a daily basis, attacks on mosques in many European capitals are frequently reported. This Islamophobic insanity, which has led to attacks claiming the lives of large numbers of people in recent years, often shows its horrifying face. One of the most tragic examples of Islamophobic attacks is the wave of murders of Turkish nationals that Germany saw in the 2000s. The neo-Nazi far-right National Socialist Underground organization embarked on a campaign of murders. In the Thuringia province in 2011, Uwe Bonhart and Uwe Mondlos committed suicide rather than surrounding the police after being trapped following a botched bank robbery. This double suicide lifted the veil from the death of 10 people, 8 of them being Turkish nationals between 2002 and 2007. The only survivor of the terrorist group, Beate Schäpe, was sentenced to life in prison. The group's 88-person murder list turned out to include many leading Turkish and Muslim figures.
İkinci kurban, üçüncü, dördüncü, beşinci kurban oldu. Hala aynı metot. Hala ilk başta aileye bakıyorlar. Bunların yok bir kötü tarafları var. Ya mafyadır, odur, budur. Bizim için en büyük değişiklik işte bu ortaya çıktığında yani sırtımızdan büyük bir taş düştü. Evet işte babam suçsuzdu gördünüz mü diyebilmemizdi.
Terrorist Anders Behring Breivik killed 8 people after setting off a bomb near the government buildings in the capital Oslo, then went on to murder 69 people in a summer camp on the island of Utøya. Breivik, who claimed to have committed the attacks to prevent the Islamization of Norway, was sentenced to 21 years, the country's harshest penalty.
We are all humans. We can't expect everyone to look like us or to think like us, because that only makes us as bad as the terrorists.
Besides Germany and Norway, Sweden, Italy, France and Britain have seen numerous smaller yet deadly attacks. The most recent of them is the 2017 Finsbury Park attack. In London's Finsbury Park neighbourhood, a terrorist named Darren Osborne drove a van into a group of Muslims who had just finished prayers. 1 person died in the attack and 10 were injured. The attacker was sentenced to life in prison.
It was particularly hard for us to have to sit in court and listen to Darren Osborne deny he had done anything wrong. He was such a peaceful and simple man. He had no bad thoughts for anyone. Our father, like the victims of most terrorism, was entirely innocent, which makes his death in this violent way all the more hurtful.
In an attack on the Islamic Culture Center in Quebec, 6 people were killed and 8 injured. Alexander Bizonet, the far-right terrorist behind the attack, was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Prior to the attack, a package with bloody pig's head was left at the entrance of the center with a message saying Bon Appetit.
There is one victim. None of us want to talk about him. His name is Alexander Bizonet. day after day, week after week, month after month, certain politicians, unfortunately, certain reporters, unfortunately, certain media were poisoning our atmosphere. This guy was poisoned. But we want Alexander to be the last one who will have some criminal act like that. We want to stop it.
In an armed attack on 2 mosques in the city of Christchurch, 51 people died and 49 were injured. The New Zealand attack is the latest deadly link in this chain of Islamophobic attacks. Brenton Tarrant, a far-right terrorist who claims the white race is superior, got a life sentence. In court, those injured in the attack and the relatives of the martyrs confronted the terrorist and gave him a lesson in humanity.
Whole time 17 years since I was living in New Zealand, and I was working. Some of the people were calling me, because I was from Afghanistan, they were calling me as a fan or joke or intentionally a terrorist. But you took that name from me. Today you are called terrorist, and you proved that to the world that I was not, and us as a Muslim were not terrorists. I say to the people of New Zealand that terrorists do not have religion, race and color. Any color, any race, in any face could be a terrorist. You are the loser and we are the winners.
Whoever kills one innocent soul, it is as if he has killed the entire mankind. And you killed 51. They left behind 34 spouses, 92 children, and more than 100 siblings who now have to endure the life sentence of being without their loved ones.
This man is not one of us, but that didn't stop him from slaughtering us. He had no issue with Linda Armstrong. He didn't even know her. Instead, filled with his own racist agenda, this coward hid behind his big, powerful guns and shot little old Linda from afar.
You are classified as someone who's dumb enough not to realize that beyond the skin, all humans are same. They all have the same internal organs and function the same. Finally, I'd like to tell you that you'd be remembered, but as a scared killer and nothing more.
I never would have ever imagined that the country in which my parents immigrated to for safety and for a successful future for their children would result in this. We have been shaken to our core and our hearts cracked in a million pockets and places. But slowly and surely we are reassembling each crack with a thread of gold. My students, who now greet me with Salaam alaikum, Miss Q, to take a look around this courtroom and ask yourself, who exactly is the other here right now? Is it us? Or is it you? I think the answer's pretty clear.